What's up, everybody? Bert Newcomb, the realtor here. What we're going to talk about today is how can your offer be better than the other offers presented to a seller. The reason we're going to talk about this is because if you are even interested in buying, you've been thinking about buying, or you've been looking online even, you probably know how tight this market is, right? We have very little inventory. We have lots of buyers. We have very few sellers. That is driving prices up, right? And there's been a lot of offers on many houses. Also, not in all scenarios, but in many scenarios, most houses are going above ask. And we're going to talk about how to make your offer better than all the other offers. Here are a few tips that I would give you if I was representing you. First, you have to be approved or have a proof of funds. That is the most important thing. Can't make an offer without either of those. If you do make an offer without either of those, chances are 9 times out of 10, the seller won't even look at it or give it any consideration because they want to see that a buyer is qualified or approved or has proof of funds. Next, we're going to make your first offer your best offer. We're not going to start low and then go up. Be willing to negotiate. We need to make your first offer really stand out. We have to make your first offer your best offer and make it stand above all others, especially when we know there's multiple offers on the table. Are you asking for closing costs to be paid by the seller? A few years ago, sellers were paying closing costs, builders were, a lot of the sellers were, right? But today that has completely changed. Even on new construction sales, many builders are not covering closing costs. Many other home sellers are not either. And in a lot of scenarios, the closing cost is getting added to the purchase price in order for buyers to have their closing costs covered. So that is one tip. If you have closing costs that you want covered by the seller, you know there's multiple offers on the table, go ahead and add your closing costs to the purchase price to get those covered. Basically, what that's going to do is that's going to save you less money out of pocket up front on your down payment. Many people, like I said, are going above ask with the closing costs added to the purchase price. And in many other scenarios, they're adding the closing cost to it and still going up even higher. Let's say a house is $100,000. You have $3,000 in closing. You know, they're going to offer $103,000 and maybe they're going to go $105,000, $110,000, examples like that. You know, a lot of homes are going above asking price, even above what the closing cost amount is added to the purchase price. If you think about it, you know, if you love this home, if this home is what you really want for the next 5 to 10 years, even if you offer a little bit more than the other person, your offer is going to be the most attractive in some essences, right? That's what we want. And, you know, say you overpay by $2,000 or $3,000. If you break that down in a monthly mortgage payment, that's really going to cost you very, very little. You probably won't even recognize much of a difference there. Naturally, when we make your offer, we need to compare comps to make sure that we think it's going to appraise, which is something else we're going to dive into a little bit later in this video. Offer letters. You know, a lot of people are always trying to write these offer letters to the seller. Personally, I have only seen this get a seller's attention once, but all it takes is one time to get a seller's attention to get you your dream home. So if you love a house, you're going to plan on, you know, living in it for a long time, maybe building a family, raising a family, or whatever, you know, write that in your letter to the seller. Definitely present it to them. The worst that can happen is they say no, and then we have to find you another one. Earnest money. Earnest money, you know, typically in my area, you know, the average earnest money is $500 to $1,000. But if you offer more earnest money to a seller, it tells them that you're more confident that, you know, you're not going to have any issues. So I definitely recommend increasing your earnest money, especially when you know there are multiple offers on the table. Financing contingency, like we just mentioned a few minutes ago, you know, if you're very sure your financing is rock solid, you know, a shorter financing contingency, you know, gives the seller less stress as to if there's going to be any financing issues or whatever on your part. So definitely consider having a shorter financing contingency when there are multiple offers on the table. Short inspection periods. This is kind of give or take, you know. Some people are asking for shorter inspection periods on counter offers, things like that. You definitely want to make sure that you have enough time to get everything checked out that you want to get checked out. But if you think you can do that in 10 to 12 days and you originally asked for 15 or 20, then definitely feel free to shorten your inspection period to make your offer stand out as well. Definitely, cash buyers do have a lot going on right now. Cash offers are more attractive in many scenarios, but not all. But the cash offers do have some more power right now. Cash is always king, right? But if you're planning on paying cash for a house and you're planning on negotiating $20,000 off the ask, in many scenarios, but not all, that's not even going to happen. So don't even think about it. Your cash is not that attractive to a seller in many scenarios. Can you close quickly? That's mostly with the cash offers. It takes an average conventional FHA loan, VA, etc., 30 to 45 days to close. Cash can close quicker, which is very attractive in many scenarios. Maybe they're closing 10, 15 days. That does help your offer stand out more if you can close quicker. Some conventional loans, FHA loans, they can close quicker as well. I've seen that as well. Sometimes I've seen those close in 2 weeks as well. Not saying they can't. I've seen it. But a lot of cash offers do close quicker, but that is not always going to be the winning offer if you come in under budget or under price. Anyways, these are just a few tips. Definitely make your own decisions. Definitely think about everything before you do it. Toss all the facts around in your head, right? And definitely make sure that you're 100% confident that the home that you're making an offer on is the one you want to buy and live in for the next several years, right? Those are a few tips that I'd give you to make your offer stand above all the rest, and I hope you'll have a great afternoon. And if you're looking to buy a house, give me a call. I'd love to help you out. Let's make your offer stand out above the rest.